All right, folks, welcome back. And don't forget, coming up, the road to the White House. And we will be focusing today on a possible Donald Trump presidential candidacy for 2016 on the Republican side. But that's in the next segment. First, a few stories that we might have missed along the way. The CDC has done really the first of its kind study. And according to the CDC, 2.3% of the population identify themselves as gay, lesbian, or bisexual. 2.3% of the population, less than 3%. The National Health Interview Survey, which is the government's premier tool for annually assessing Americans' health and behaviors, found 1.6% identify themselves as gay or lesbian, and 0.7% consider themselves bisexual. Now, I bring this up because I think it's interesting, and I bring this up because we've always been told that it's way, 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 way more. Now, it's interesting because our friends at Media Research Center, and specifically Christine Marsh at Newsbusters, writes that the public, most Americans, think that the number is 13 times higher. So I'm just off the top of my head, if there are 1.5% identifying themselves as gay, 13. So that's we're talking something along the lines of 18 to 20%. Most Americans think it's about 18% of the public is gay or lesbian, and in fact, people have identified as 1.5%. Now, you could say, well, they didn't want to put that down on a form. Maybe they didn't want to put it down on a form, but to the tune of less than 2%, I don't buy that. If I'm betting this is more accurate than the 13 times this number. Okay, so I just think it's important that we put things in perspective. I'm not saying it's 1.5% or 1.6% gay or lesbian and less than just over 0.5% bisexual. Maybe it's a little more, but don't think it's 18% because the media tells you it's 18%. Okay? CDC, branch of the government, no right-wing conservative group here. So I bring that up because, again, it's important to keep things in perspective, especially when you're dealing with a leftist media who constantly convinces you or tries to convince you that if you don't agree with them, if you don't buy into what they're telling you, then something is wrong with you. How many times have I told you? They'll convince you or try to that the sky is green and the grass is blue, and if you don't see it that way, man, something is wrong with you. Now, Boko Haram, that horrific terrorist group, who Michelle Obama, in her sitting in for the president about a month or two ago on the weekly radio or media address, talking about the kidnapped girls from Nigeria, said, oh, Boko Haram, they don't want girls to go to school, and that's what it's all about. And I've talked about this over and over. She misrepresented what Boko Haram is. It's not just about girls and not going to school. New report, Human Rights Watch, attacks by Boko Haram have killed 2,053 people this year through various raids of villages and mass killings and massacres and slitting the throats of boys at a boarding school in Nigeria. But Michelle Obama would have you believe it's about preventing girls from going to school. Again, misinformation. We'll be back with more Road to the White House, but first, Dr. Chauncey Crandall, he's coming up next. You got to watch this because you could always use this. Here are some cholesterol tips on the Steve Malzberg Show.
Judging from everything you hear, you think all cholesterol is bad, but that's not really true. You need a certain amount of cholesterol to maintain good health. The problem is that too much cholesterol in your blood contributes to a plaque, a fatty substance that narrows the coronary arteries that feed blood flow to your heart. Picture your coronary arteries as a 4-lane highway. If one lane becomes blocked, traffic still flows well. 2 lanes, no major problem. But if a 3rd lane becomes blocked, that spells trouble. It's the same way with your coronary arteries. And when plaque slows their blood flow to your heart, this can even cause a heart attack. The good news is that when it comes to cholesterol, Lifestyle changes can pay off big time. Even a small reduction in plaque can be like opening up another highway lane. Suddenly, blood flow that was stalled can go forward again. Changing your lifestyle does not have to be hard. And in fact, here are 3 ways to help you start lowering your cholesterol. Snack on nuts. Nuts are probably one of the easiest and tastiest ways to lower cholesterol. Walnuts and almonds are among the best. Bulk up your diet with fiber. Choose whole fruits instead of a fruit juice, brown rice instead of white, and if you're eating a baked potato, be sure to leave the skin on. Choose fish. Fish contains cholesterol-fighting omega-3 fatty acids. I'm Dr. Chauncey Crandall, and thanks for watching this Heart Health Minute. Remember, it's never too late to prevent or reverse heart disease. Right now, I invite you to discover your own risk for heart disease or even a heart attack by taking my quick, free online quiz at www.simplehearttest.com.